We have been asked if we were given a chance to speak to the CEO of a big international company, what are the key ESG issues that we think their business should focus on and why? We've chosen Barclays, a public limited company in the banking financial services that moves, lends, invests and protects money for clients and customers all over the world. However, Barclays has been unable to avoid scandal. They've previously been found to be manipulating LIBOR, attempting to unmask a whistleblower, and continue today to be the biggest European bank lending to fossil fuel companies, to name a few issues. It's been shown companies who deal with their ESG issues outperform those who don't. We will be discussing what ESG issues Barclays needs to tackle and address if they intend to perform at their peak in this fast-moving, changing landscape.
Barclays need to exclude fossil fuels from their financing portfolio. This would help to begin the process of the transformation away from the fossil fuel industry that the global finance sector needs. As a company, you continue to fuel climate change through bankrolling companies who drill for oil, clear forests and violate human rights. If we are to reduce emissions globally, there can be no new fossil fuel infrastructure. Therefore, until Barclays stop funding fossil fuel companies, they continue to be just as responsible for the climate emergency as the fossil fuel companies they fund. Barclays need to recognise their contribution as the main architects of the climate crisis. Barclays claim in their ESG report to play a leading role in tackling climate change and are aligning their goals with the 2015 Paris Agreement. However, since this agreement, have lent over $120 billion to fossil fuel companies and continue to be the biggest lender to these companies amongst European banks. Furthermore, Barclays are no longer directly financing projects involving fracking in the UK and Europe. However, this does not prevent them from continuing to indirectly finance projects involving fracking and bankroll projects outside of Europe like coal mines in Colombia and sands in Canada. In order to meet their ESG commitments and make a meaningful change to the industry, Barclays needs to be more stringent in assessing their clients' impact on the environment.
Barclays needs to focus on re-evaluating its current relationships with employees, suppliers and communities. Jess Staley, Chief Executive, revealed that flexible working is likely to be the new normal, with offices having a substantially lower capacity when we return to work, with 70,000 staff currently working from home. However, the new work from home environment could jeopardise Barclays' diversity and inclusion objectives. A recent Economist article found that 69% of women would rather work from home at least one day a week, in contrast to 56% of men. If women work from home in the future, this is likely to have a damaging effect on gender inequality in the workplace. Women may be passed up for promotions and high calibre work as they're not being seen and have statistically less contact with senior managers whilst working from home. This will exacerbate pre-existing problems which exist at Barclays, with Barclays hiring only 34% of female graduates in 2019 and a rather unambitious target of only 28% female managing partners in their ESG report. Barclays should address how they will combat gender inequality issues which may arise as a result of the pandemic. I would also advise Barclays to take a more rigorous stance with regards to their suppliers, ensuring they follow objectives set by Barclays in terms of environmental management, human rights, diversity and inclusion and societal responsibility. Their ESG report currently states they only require suppliers to comply with Barclays' minimum expectations and the rules within their respective geographies. The lack of regulations Barclays has for their investments impacts local communities. For example, despite opposition, Third Energy has been granted permission to test drill for shale gas in Rydale, North Yorkshire. As evidenced in North Dakota, fracking can result in air and water pollution and cause respiratory problems for Indigenous people there. Barclays needs to change their focus from a bare minimum stance to ensuring clients and supply chains operate in line with their core beliefs.
In terms of governance, Barclays has a risk committee which monitors, makes reports and recommends key financial and legal issues and what action should be taken. Managing their regulatory risk is often done at the expense of their customers. Where there was a change in regulation, Barclays pulled out of riskier mortgages, leaving borrowers who had already agreed property purchase mortgages at the risk of collapse. Secondly, Barclays has not escaped liability for their fraudulent activity, indicated by the LIBOR scandal. They were fined £59.5 million by the Financial Services Authority for attempted manipulation. Thirdly, Jess Staley, the chief executive, attempted to unmask a whistleblower and as a result was fined £1.1 million. Shareholders' advisors say the response to the whistleblowing scandal was inadequate. This, together with the fact that he is paid 34 times the average employee, has led to many Barclays investors being urged to protest over his salary. On reflection, Barclays' remuneration system, risk management and corruption all indicate a failure to implement a proper governance system. There is considerable change to be made to Barclays' governance, and implementing a more transparent system will increase compliance with regulation and legal issues.